At first glance, it's easy to be seduced by Pericles' speech and to identify with the Athenian state as, for example, the forerunner of American democracy and freedom. But the matter is not so straightforward. What Pericles says here about Athenian democracy stands in striking contradiction to what he just said about the Athenian Empire. He praises the fact that the Athenian constitution allows for citizens to have a similar status and to interact freely with one another on equal terms. But this is exactly the opposite of the way Athens treats the citizens of other states in its empire. They are not regarded as free and equal. They are subjugated and must do whatever the Athenians say. Likewise, even within Athens, the much praised equality among the citizens is not extended to everyone. Like all the Greek states, Athens had a large slave population who were regarded as the property of their owners. They had no political rights whatsoever. This is not so striking to us, since the founding fathers of our country used the same kind of language about building a country based on the principles of freedom and democracy, despite the fact that their proud new country was one of the largest slave states in human history. According to Greek law, slaves were not recognized as human beings in the eyes of the law. The Greeks did not understand that in order for they themselves to be fully free, they needed to extend that freedom to everyone else as well, including the slaves. Once again, the concept of human freedom and subjectivity as we know it today was still undeveloped. We will see this issue again in Aristotle's work, The Politics. Along the same lines, when Pericles praises freedom and equality, he's also excluding half of the population of Athens right from the start, namely the women. The status of women in Athens and Greek society in general is a complex topic, but suffice it to say that women were considered inferior to men and were excluded from many professions and from playing any role in political life. At the end of his speech, Pericles deigns to address the women in the audience with a single line, quote, "Great will be your glory in not falling short of your natural character, and greatest will be hers who is least talked of among the men, whether for good or for bad," end quote. Interpreters tend to focus on the last part of this advice, which seems to dictate that the Athenian women should simply focus on their domestic duties and not make too much noise about it. Their role should be to be unthinking and anonymous. Even if they excel in what they do, they should not aim to be the object of praise. But the first part of Pericles' statement is also telling here. He speaks of the, quote, natural character of the women. This implies that women, and indeed men as well, have a fixed essence and that everything about them is determined by this, including their roles in society. Needless to say, this flies in the face of the claim that all the positions in Athens are open to anyone with talent and ability. For whatever reason, the talents and abilities of the women of the city don't count.